I'd like to welcome you to our webinar on Google Apps for Construction and Trades. My name is Tina Mallon, and I am one of the Google Apps specialists here with Dido. So this will be a little bit of an agenda that we have for this presentation. And we tend to get a mixed group of attendees for these types of events that we have, and we like to give everybody a little bit of something. So some people are familiar with Google Apps already, some are really seeing it for the first time. So we're going to take the time to go from a high level to lower level discussions so you can get first the big picture and then we can zone in on some of the specifics. So this will be our agenda for the session, pretty quick and painless here. We're going to first talk about some of the technology trends. So the paradigm shifts right now that we're seeing in technology trends, specifically cloud computing. And then we're going to transition into talking about what is Google Apps and how does it fit into the picture of these technology trends. Then we're going to get more specific, looking at construction and trades and the Google platform. So this will be an opportunity to see some demonstrations on my screen so I can show you some of the beneficial features of Google Apps and you can get that first-person perspective on what these features look like. Of course, if there was any features that we don't get to, feel free to ask us a question. You can also follow up with us later for personalized demonstrations. And then last, we're just going to talk about who we are here at Dido. So you have an idea of what we have on our team, what we offer, and how you can get in contact with us if you have any specific questions for Google Apps, you'd like a more personalized demonstration, or you just have any general questions. So we're going to start first then by talking about some of the technology trends. And with this, we look to the consumer web. So this is familiar, I'm sure, to everybody. All these brandings that we see up on my screen are familiar to everybody. And as consumers now, we have embraced the ways in which the web allows us to do more. And by that, I mean we do things quicker, we do it with more people, we collaborate effectively. And in fact, this has changed our expectations on how we find things, how we buy or share, and how we consume in general. So I just want to give you some examples here of the paradigm shift of technology and the consumer web. And this will then tie into the consumerization of IT and how we're seeing the consumer web have this convergence into the business world. So the first trend I want to talk about is search. So I can guarantee that everybody on this webinar today is familiar to going to the ever-famous google.com to find and expect to find the information in milliseconds. Billions of searches are conducted every day, so we have really grown accustomed to having our information at our fingertips. Another trend that goes along with that is shopping. So we can order from millions of different items online. They can be delivered to your door the next day. Just another consumerization of the web and technology through the paradigm shift and how we're using the cloud technologies. Also sharing. So right now we upload, it's 72 hours of video a day. So that's a lot of hours of video, and that's just on YouTube. And we share millions of items every day across various social channels. So whether we're looking at Facebook or Twitter or Google+, all these different channels that we have to share our ideas and bring teams together. So then with these trends, we are seeing a convergence, as I said, of the consumer world into the business world. And with this convergence, it's establishing specific technology trends. So there's really three macro trends that have become pervasive and have underpinned the way we expect things to work today. So I'm just going to share three examples that we have up on the screen here so we can tie these ideas together. So first, the idea of cloud. So I've mentioned this term a couple times. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the buzzword cloud technology. But one interesting fact here is that Gartner predicts that by 2016, 50% of Global 1000 companies will have customer-sensitive data in the public cloud. So that's a really enlightening statistic because it's showing the convergence of bringing your data into this public cloud, but allowing your employees, your users then to access your data anytime, anywhere, any place, on any device. Also, for the mobile platform, we can see all of this transitioning right now. And in the US, 96% of the population has a mobile phone, and 40% of the population now own a smartphone. And I can almost guarantee that that number is going up exponentially. So with the mobile trend here, we're seeing that we have the ability to unify our mobile workforces, which we often see in constructions where you have mobile work teams, or in trade businesses. You have individuals that are in the office, in the field, on the go, perhaps in transportation, you're just constantly on the go. But having the accessibility to mobile devices and then the ability to link that to the cloud, specifically to Google Apps. And then last, another macro trend that we're seeing with the paradigm shift is the social trend. So young professionals now who have grown up using such tools such as cloud technologies, the ability to get data from any application, are seeking out employers who allow them to work the way that they live. So to use the technologies that they have grown accustomed to and technologies that have been proven successful in their personal life, and would like to relay that then into their professional life. And also, as we think about business IT over the past 30 years, we can see certain patterns that have governed how we use technology. And then, so there's this term, the consumerization of IT. So we just looked at those three macro trends as we're seeing the cloud technology platform shift through technology. And with this, there's a term, the consumerization of IT. And what that boils down to is what I just said, where people are asking, why can't I work the way that I live? Why can't I use a device that I have found effective in my own life, and I want to use that now in my work life? Why can't I use applications that I have already found successful? Why can't we incorporate these technologies into the business world? So these behaviors and the desire to use the same tools and approaches we use at home to do our work is definitely widespread, and people fundamentally want to join together to get their work done to create value. So this is not a new trend. For some time now, people have been taking their consumer tools to work, and as we see here, 53% of employees are using their own technology for work purposes. So that's a strong fact as well, just showing the trend towards the bring your own device to work, the ability to support multiple platforms, the ability to support multiple technology applications. We're seeing this trend of bringing new technology into the workplace. And so this brings us to Google Apps. So we wanted to just introduce you, of course, into some of the technology trends. Some of you may have already been familiar with that, but always a good place to start talking about some of the trends that we're seeing right now in technology. So now I just want to talk about Google Apps and how that fits into the picture, and then how it allows you to work the way you live, or specifically in construction and trades, how it can allow you to work effectively as a geographically dispersed team, as a mobile workforce, and how to bring all these technologies together under one platform. So for those of you that are not familiar with Google Apps, it is a cloud-based suite of applications. It is built on Google's network and eliminates your need for software, for servers, and maintenance, upgrades, no planned downtime. You have access to your data all the time just through easy internet connection. And then this addresses the paradigm shift of working the way you live, because these are tools that cross boundaries as well as you blend your home and your work life. So millions of consumers are already using Gmail, Google Calendar, Documents for personal use. So it makes the transition to using Google Apps for Business that much easier. And of course, with Google Apps, you're able to bring your team together anytime, any place, on any device. So I really want to hit home with that idea specifically, because you can bring any team, no matter where they're dispersed geographically, together from any time, meaning if you're remote, if you're in the office, if you're on a job site, you can bring your team together, and on any device. So if you're going to be supporting BlackBerries, Androids, iPhones, Windows phones, tablets, Macs, PCs, you have the ability then to allow your users and your employees to choose their technology and know that the IT solution that you're choosing will be supported through all of those technologies. So then some of the tools that are included with Google Apps are displayed here right on the screen. We'll just do a quick walkthrough before I get into some of the specific demonstrations. So there's a number of tools available right out of the box. The cornerstone of which is Google Mail, so definitely a fan favorite. And one of the greatest features about Google Mail is the 25 gigabytes of space you get, and it was actually just increased to a combined 30 gigabytes of space between Mail and Drive. So now you even have more flexibility for some of your power users to go up to 30 gigs. So with that, you can have all of your information all of the time. And then you also have Google Drive and Google Calendar. I'll be doing some demonstrations on Drive, but for anybody that's not familiar with Google Drive, it is a document creation and management system. And calendars makes sharing calendars and scheduling very easy. And it is also syncable with all of your devices. You can sync it with your cell phone, with your tablet. So again, whatever technologies any of your users or employees prefer to use, you can sync that very easily. There are others as well, such as Sites. Google Sites, very easy to use. You can use Google Sites to recreate SharePoint, to have your own project sites in construction. You can also create your intranet on Google Sites as well. And Google Plus. Google Plus is an enterprise social media platform, but one of the key benefits of Google Plus is the ability to have a 15-way video conferencing. So we'll look into these in just a moment here, but also keep in mind that there is a strong layer of security throughout the platform. It provides virus and spam protection, as well as keeping all your data locked down in the cloud. So it is first in class for security for cloud technologies. If anyone has any specific questions about security, feel free to contact us. We can have more in-depth discussions about this, but know that it is first in class for your message policy, antivirus, anti-spam, and you can always enhance it with additional security features as well. And then when we say Google Apps is accessible from anywhere, one point that I've mentioned already, but we really truly mean anywhere, anytime, any place. So you can connect all of these different applications, so your Mail, your Drive, your Calendar, Sites. You can connect to all of these applications from anywhere. If it's going to be, again, on your PC, on your Mac, a Chromebook, Android, any device you're going to be using, you can connect to these applications. One thing that is very powerful, and one thing I use quite frequently, is the ability to access my documents from anywhere, because for me, one of the biggest transitions that I enjoyed was no longer sending email attachments to myself so I had them on hand, or the famous scenario of losing your thumb drive or not formatting correctly. So you have the ability to access your data at all times. And then, of course, it's not just a few companies that are going Google. It is absolutely a global movement. So whether we're talking Silicon Valley startups, Fortune 500 companies, or even major universities, they're all benefiting from going Google. But more specifically, I just wanted to talk about some relatable clients of ours, and this includes Clark Construction, a construction company out of the DC metro area that we helped go Google. Also Midget Realty in North Carolina, a realty company that we helped go Google. CATS and Custom Ink. So we have that experience with a variety of industries, so please don't hesitate if you have specific questions. We're happy to address questions that you have specifically about construction or the trade industries. So at this time, we are going to get more specific and look at some of the demos really relating to construction and trades. So as you saw on my screen earlier, there's many applications that are available in Google Apps, and we do want to be respectful of your time. So we pulled out some of the key benefits, key applications, and features that we have seen be successful in constructions and trades time and time again. So using this knowledge, we put together a little demonstration so you can see what these features are, give you an opportunity to ask us specific questions about these features, and see some first-person perspective. So we're going to talk about general communication first. So it has the Google Mail icon here, and I am going to get into my Google Mail. Don't worry, we're not going to get into, just general composing of mail. I'm just going to point out the unique benefits of Google Mail and the ability to choose your medium of communication. Then we're going to transition into Google Drive, absolutely my favorite application of all of the Google applications, because I think this is really where cloud technology shines through. The ability to bring your team together literally on one page from no matter where they are in the world and still maintain control over those documents even though you are collaborating together. We're also going to look at Google Sites, which, as I mentioned earlier, is a way to recreate SharePoint, but you also have the ability to make quick project sites, which would be very useful as we have seen in construction or trades. So we'll take a look at what that looks like. And then last, we're just going to take a quick peek at Google+, just so I can show you what features of Google+ could be beneficial, how you can find helpful communities either in construction or trades, and talk about some of the additional benefits of Google+ as well. So what I'm going to do at this time is actually hop into a training account that I have set up here. So it's just a demo account sandbox environment. So if you want to see anything in particular, feel free to let me know. I can manipulate this any way that I want. So the first topic here I wanted to talk about for the demonstration was communication. So in Google Mail, the unique benefit of Google Mail is the ability to choose your medium of communication. So we are all familiar with the emails. You can still access all of your emails. You can still organize all of your emails. Some of you may be familiar with folders or cabinets. You can still do that now with Google Labels. And you can easily find any of your emails with the Google search built within your email. But then when emails aren't enough, you have the ability to choose chat, voice communication, or video as well. So I'll just chat a little demo here with my colleague Megan. Just to show you, right at your fingertips, you can have this chat built in. You can chat anybody. As I'm chatting my colleague right now. You can do group chats as well. One thing that's beneficial when your emails seem to be going off on a few different tangents, you can bring everybody together on the same page. Now when chat isn't enough, you then have the ability to go one step further with voice call. So if I select this voice call, I actually have the ability to call Megan's computer. And the great thing about this is this comes part of the platform. I know a lot of times there's some misunderstandings that this is an additional package, that you have to buy a minutes package or something similar. But this is part of the package. You can call all day long. You can call as many people as you want on here. And you can call the computers, and that is part of the package. So I could easily call Megan's computer. It doesn't matter where she is. She actually is in Colorado right now. I am located in South Central Pennsylvania, so I could easily call her without knowing her phone number. And then one step further, I can actually launch a video conference with Megan as well through Google Plus Hangouts. So I could start a video call. I'll just click the button just to show you that it can quickly launch here, and I can invite Megan into this video chat. I won't bring her in here so we don't get a double feedback, but I just wanted to give you a preview of what that looks like. So you can chat, voice, video, and with the business class of Google Apps, you can video chat up to 15 people at the same time. And this still holds true for multiple devices. So if you're at your computer, you can just use your webcam built-in or external. If you're on your mobile device, for example, I have an Android Razr, I can join Google Plus Hangouts that way. You can also join on your tablets or any other mobile devices that you have as well. So this really allows you to choose your medium of communication and bring your team together no matter where they are located. So geographically dispersed, as I've said, especially in construction where you have so many different types of workers in the office, in the field, on the go, you can bring everybody together when you need your team to come together. So I just wanted to give a brief demonstration there for the communication abilities within Google Mail. If there was anything specific that you were hoping to see for Google Mail, feel free to let me know, but I wanted to be sure to point out the unique features of Google Mail, including the communication. The next topic we're going to address then is Google Drive, and as I said, this is my favorite feature of Google Apps because this really highlights the beauty of cloud computing. So for anybody then that's not familiar with Google Drive, I mentioned that it is your document management and collaboration creation system. So you can create documents within Google Drive, you can store them in Google Drive so you can access them from anywhere, and you can collaborate with individuals on the same documents. So I'm going to give a demonstration now of what this looks like. So on my screen we have just a sample of what it could look like for you to have multiple folders, multiple documents, and working with those on Drive. So as we see here, this one is more construction oriented, but I could have some of my blueprints on here, some PDFs, maybe some images that I was working on for a specific site. You can store them all in Google Drive. So a benefit then of storing documents in Google Drive is the ability to access them from anywhere. So if you are in a hotel lobby and you quickly need access to a document that maybe you forgot, you can quickly access it, print it out. You can access it on your tablets, so you always have virtual copies as well. And then with Google Drive, you have your own type of documents that are Google documents as well. So there's document, which is like Word, presentation, like PowerPoint, spreadsheet is similar to Excel. Yes, it has all these wonderful formulas and functions. Also Google Forms and drawings. I'm going to bring up a sample of a Google spreadsheet first, just so we can see a little peek of what it would look like, how I can share this out with others, and what it looks like to do real-time collaboration. So the example that I have up on my screen is a spreadsheet of building cost. So this is just a real high-level demonstration here. Perhaps you don't do your building costs exactly the same as this, but it gives you the idea of how you can create documents, access them easily, and share them with others. So we have a list of all the building costs, and then where the shining stars of Google Drive comes through is in the ability to share. So I can share this right now with my colleague, so we can be in here working at the same time. So I can share this with my colleague Megan, as well as my colleague Natalie. I'll share with both of them. And right off the bat, you get different sharing permissions. So it could be view only, comment only, or edit access. So if you are running a specific project, maybe a specific project site, and you need everyone to have different access to these documents, you do have that ability. I'm going to leave it on edit so we can see what it looks like to have Megan and Natalie in here at the same time. So I'll just share this with two of my colleagues here. And one thing that is a little bit of an advanced tip but is very useful is the fact that the links for the documents, so the link at the top of my screen, is actually a living link. So I can take this link just by copy and paste, and I can go to any of my colleagues and I can pass this link around. We're sort of developing our own Google lingo. Can you chat me the link to so-and-so document? So it really streamlines processes. So if you ever need to get something over to somebody immediately, you have that ability. So now that I shared this with some of my colleagues, I can see that Megan is in here. Anybody that is in your document will get color-coded cursors. So Natalie is orange, Megan is pink. I can see Megan is typing away in this cell. I can see where she's moving along. Natalie is in the top. She's moving along on the screen as well. So this shows you what it looks like to collaborate in real time. Everything is saved instantly, so it allows you to just streamline your processes, bring your team together, and get your end result when you need it. Now, on the other hand, I know for a fact that as soon as I said everything is automatically saved, that raises some red flags thinking, well, what happens if somebody makes a mistake? How do I maintain control over my documents? So I want to show you some of the ways you can maintain control over your documents so you can have peace of mind. And I'm actually going to do those demonstrations in a Google document so you can see what that format looks like. So this time I am in Google Document. This is a materials list that we have. Again, this might not be exactly how you create your documents, but just to give you a demonstration here. So just to show you once more, I can share this with both Megan and Natalie. And I'll share that with both of my colleagues there. And once more, I can always take the link and I can chat this to any of my colleagues. You can also put this on sites if you want to have a quick link to specific documents, maybe for your clients or customers. You can also put that in an email if you just need to quickly get one of your documents over to a colleague. So again, Natalie and Megan are both within this document. They're going to go through and just start filling out the document here. And I'm going to highlight how you still have the ability to maintain control over your document even though there are multiple individuals in here. So the first feature I'm going to highlight is the ability to chat. So I have both Megan and Natalie in here, and I can use the chat window built into the Google document. So we can provide direction back and forth. We can ask questions on the documents because you don't want to be typing your questions on your document. You can keep it clutter-free, but still maintain control over the direction of your document. Now, aside from the chat window, you also have the ability to post comments. So if I am unsure about a specific date, so it looks like Natalie read my mind here. She just put in a specific comment for 35 beams that we are going to order, and she's asking, are we sure about this? I can easily respond to that, and then Natalie can see that in real time. I can even post my own comments within the document as well. So we can still be working together, editing each other's work, and streamlining the communication to make sure we get the proper end result. And then last, what I want to point out is what I call worst case scenario. Because sometimes you give the proper direction, but there's just something lost in translation, and your document takes a hard left when you're trying to go hard right. So what you can do is go into the revision history, and it actually gives you a detailed revision history of all the changes that have been made. So a few minutes ago, let's see a good example here. So a few minutes ago, orange was Megan and pink was Natalie. So I can see Megan typed in these 3 cells here, and Natalie put in these 2 bits of information in the pink. So it's nice having that track of what edits have been made on your documents. So even though you're sharing this maybe with your clients, your colleagues, you can always see the history for that document as well. And if for any reason there was a mistake on your document, you can go back to a time when it made sense. Perhaps my ladies here were accidentally filling in for another project site. I could just bring this back to the original version by selecting Restore this revision, and it brings my document back to a time that made sense. And of course you can always undo that if that was done by accident, but it really shows you that you have the ability then to share your documents with others, the ability to collaborate in real time, which is very useful for geographically dispersed team, mobile workforces, and you still have the peace of mind knowing that you can maintain control over your documents with sharing permissions, with the chat window, the comments, and the revision history. So the last thing I want to say then with Google Drive is, of course, you don't have to just use Google Documents. I wanted to show you some demonstration on spreadsheets and the documents here. Of course, those demonstrations hold true in presentation, form, drawings as well. You can work together in real time. But like I said, you don't have to use the Google document types. As I pointed out, you can always have PDFs if you want to add in your own blueprints, your own image files. If you have a very long Excel spreadsheet that you don't want to tamper with, that you don't want to convert to a Google version, you can just store it as the native format in Google Drive as well. That way you can always access those documents, and you always have the ability to share those out. And just like we are familiar with shared drives, the ability to share documents under the same drive, you can do this with folders within Google Apps. So you can create a hierarchy of organization, just as we're used to under My Documents. You can create that organization under Google Drive. And what is very powerful is the ability to share out entire folders. So if you are going to be leading a specific construction project and you need to have all information in one location and have 10 different people access all of these documents, all you have to do is put it all in one specific folder and share the folder out once, so you're not sharing each individual document. So it really streamlines the process for sharing and bringing your team together. If anyone has any specific questions about Google Drive, if there was something you were hoping I was going to get to speaking about Google Drive, or a specific use case scenario about construction or trades, feel free to enter those questions into the chat window or the question pane. Like I said, I'm happy to address any of those questions. So we are going to transition now into looking at Google Sites, and then we'll wrap up our demonstration here with Google+. And we'll start first here with the Google Sites. As I mentioned, with Google Sites, you can recreate your SharePoint. So the ability to bring everybody together in a one-stop location to access different files, different sites, and so forth. So with Google Sites, you can create a project site, you can create an intranet. What is very useful about Google Sites is that you do not have to be a webmaster to create a Google site. If you know how to point and click your mouse, you will be absolutely fine with Google Sites. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration here of editing a Google site. So I can quickly edit this project site that I have created, and it's as simple as point and click. So you can see I can easily add in a calendar. So if you wanted to have a calendar for a specific project, for a specific work site, maybe in trades, a distribution calendar that you're creating, you could add all of those in a specific site. If you wanted a one-stop shop for documents for either your organization or your company or specific project, you can do that as well. You can create file cabinets. So if you wanted everyone to have a specific location for policies and procedures, or templates that you use routinely, or just specific documents on a specific project, you can easily add all of those in as well. You can see there's many other options here. A lot of these self-explanatory, adding in photos, presentations, your own videos. So you have a lot of different options to create your own site, manipulate the colors, themes, layout, and like I said, you don't have to be a webmaster. If you know how to point and click your mouse, you can absolutely create one of these sites. So I'm just going to continue to walk you through this project site just so we can get an idea of some of the aspects that would be useful specifically to construction and the trades industry. I know everybody would probably use the sites different, but this is how we have seen constructions and trades successfully use Google Sites in the past. So an example here is a project site. So some of our existing clients that we have in construction and trades do actually utilize making project sites for each individual projects that they have. So whether it's going to be a project manager, I don't know, maybe a foreman, just some different options, but the ability to bring all the information in one location. Excuse me. So we have right off the bat here the ability to post risk and issues. We can see as an example, we have a specific issue posted. We can assign it, have status and priority and due dates. Look like we're a little past our due date here. We can even put in timelines. So as I mentioned, you can easily take any calendar that you create in Google Calendar. So each new project, if you need to create its own calendar, you can easily put that in here so everyone can access when things are due, when milestones are, and when different tasks need to be completed. Another example we have in here was actually a request that we've had frequently, is to show how to add a Google form right into a site. So if you wanted this to be either internal facing or external facing, you can put in Google Forms very easily. So for the sake of time, I already created this form so you didn't have to watch me go through all of those steps. But you can see just a quick form here. What is your name? What is your favorite Google application? And I can easily fill out this form. It's embedded in this site here. And as soon as somebody fills out the form, I get automatic results. So definitely powerful. I would probably want to play around a little bit with the layout here to make it more attractive than all squeezed to one side. But just for demonstration purposes, I wanted to show you that it was a possibility. And of course, the task we went to, but as I said as well with the documents, so if you need to create a file cabinet for documents that you have, you can easily do that. And it doesn't have to be a Google document type. So if you need to add files on here, if you need to put blueprints, if you need to have meeting minutes in one location, if you need to have building costs, you can put them easily on this file cabinet. And you can add files directly from your local machine, or you can add a link to a Google document that you are creating. And you can even organize it right on the site as well. So if you're going to have a specific project, you can organize it into different folders and give everybody different access as well. So some important things here. So I'll just point out that, of course, you can put in comments, you can put in contact information, just some key things that we see a lot on the Google sites. But the main point that I wanted to show you is that you have the ability to bring all your information then in one location. So I know often when you're working project to project, there's so much information that goes into one specific project, so much planning, so much sharing of information back and forth. So you have the ability to let any of your users make one of these project sites to bring everybody together on the same page. And one thing that's useful as well is you can actually make these sites available on mobile devices as well. So a lot of times when we help businesses go Google, we actually create a customized Google Apps help site and make it mobile friendly, so you can access that on your mobile device as well. So if anyone has any specific questions about what a project site could look like, specific use case scenarios that you're thinking of, maybe you have a specific workflow that you use right now in SharePoint and you want to know if that's possible in Google Sites, feel free to enter those questions into the question pane. We can address those now, or we'll save some of the questions for at the end as well. Okay, and then the last application that I wanted to point out here is Google+. So I'm actually going to bring up the Dido Google+ page just to give you a quick look here at Google+, what it is, and what you can do in Google+. So this is a look at the Dido Google+ page. So we have some postings on here. We post a lot about Google Apps, a lot about tips and tricks that you can learn on your own about Google Apps. So if you are looking for a helpful resource to learn more, you can always find us on Google+. It'll link to some of our blogs. We post videos a lot, anything to increase the knowledge base about Google Apps. What it could look like for construction and trades, of course, aside from using it as a social media platform, you have the ability to post broadcasted Google+ Hangouts. So in Mail, we were talking about doing the video conferencing. And one thing you can do with that video conferencing is actually broadcast it on Google+. So if you were going to have a big ribbon cutting for a new building that you just finished, a new bridge, or a new announcement for your trade industry, you could broadcast this on Google Plus for some marketing, just for some fun even. You have the ability to broadcast these videos directly on Google Plus, so others within your community can join. And then also within Google Plus, there are communities. So I found a useful one earlier last week, specifically geared towards construction. So I'll bring that up here. So within the communities, it is a way to join groups of like-minded individuals. I'm sure many of you are familiar with LinkedIn, and you can join helpful groups on there. I know I do this personally, where I join helpful groups, post helpful articles, just continue my learning through others and with others. So with the communities, it's similar to those groups where you have the ability to find individuals with similar taste and interest. In this case, we can look at the Construction Pros community. Gives you a little synopsis here, and you can see as I'm going through, there have been a lot of posts about helpful articles, insurance estimates, and tells you about the community and how you can interact with one another. So always nice to continue our own learning, and this is just another platform that you can continue to do so. So this wraps up our demonstrations here with Google Apps. Like I said, I know Google Apps encompasses many applications and many features, so if there was anything that we did not get a chance to get to today that you were hoping we would get to, we're more than happy to do a personalized or customized demonstration for you and your organization. We have just taken out some of the beneficial applications and features that we have seen as successful with our current construction and trade clients. So at this time, I'm just going to talk a little bit about who we are at Dido, so you have an understanding of who we are, how you can contact us if you have any questions. We were founded in May of 2007, right when Google Apps was founded as well. And since then, we have grown to become one of the Google Apps premier partners and Chrome device resellers. So what that means is Google has given us a stamp of a premier partner proving time and time again the successful migrations and implementations of Google Apps that we have helped businesses transition to. So our team includes then migration experts. So whether you are on webmail right now, GroupWise, Lotus Notes, Microsoft Exchange, and Outlook, we have migration experts to ensure that you can get all of your data from point A to point B in Google Apps, should you choose to make that decision. Also, change management and training, definitely the unsung heroes in helping user adoption and the learning process. So we have the ability to conduct webinars, we do on-site training, and definitely first-in-class trainers when it comes to knowledge base about Google Apps. And our workflow and development specialists help you customize your environment even further. So we continue our relationship with Clark Construction to ensure that we help them customize their environment to meet their needs. And although your experience may not be exactly the same as Clark Construction or Midget Realty or Custom Inc., we can absolutely learn what your needs are and help you customize your Google Apps experience to meet your workflow and development needs. And then last, we also offer customer support, which is your quick line to help with Google Apps, whether it's just general break-fix solutions or you just need to learn a little bit about new features of Google Apps. We have a great support team that will allow you to have a quick, immediate line to help when you need it. So if you need more information from any of us, feel free to reach out at any time. My name is Tina Mowen, the presenter today. If you have specific questions, honestly, don't hesitate to reach out. My email is tina@didoweb.com. I'm also joined today by Megan. She is megan@didoweb.com. We're happy to address questions all the time. We can also schedule an introductory call to develop a customized cloud roadmap to explain how to get you to the cloud effectively, and also any personalized demonstrations you may be interested in. You can visit our website, www.didoweb.com. We also have a blog that posts any new features of Google Apps and helps those Google Apps veterans continue your learning within the Google Apps platform, and that is blog.didoweb.com. So at this time, I'm going to open up the session for general questions and answers. If you have any specific questions, feel free to enter those into the question pane or the chat window. Happy to address those questions. If you don't have time and you want to follow up later, feel free to let us know. So Megan is going to point out what questions we had coming in.
Great, thanks, Tina. The first question I have is from Nina. And her question is, what happens when you don't have an internet connection? That's a great question. Tina?
That is a great question. And I'm getting a little bit of an echo, Megan. Thank you. Okay, so Nina with the question, what happens when you don't have an internet connection? So that is a really great question. So with Google Apps, you do have the ability to go offline. So under my screen here, I'll just show you that I can take my mail offline through the Chrome browser. So if you don't have an internet connection, say you're getting on an airplane, you can easily take your email offline, you can take your calendar offline, and you can actually take your documents offline as well, so which is very useful. So even if you don't have an internet connection, I know I travel quite frequently and I like to get caught up on my airplane rides. I can take that information offline with me, and as soon as I get an internet connection, it will sync it. So very good question. Any other questions, Megan?
Yes, our second question is from David. How complicated is the migration, and how long does it typically take?
Okay, another really good question. So how complicated is a migration and how long does it take? So as far as it being complicated, we always do a deep dive of your technical environment so we can point out what any pain points could be, and then we show you how to set you up for success and what tools will be helpful and how we can play a part into it. Of course, we can provide turnkey solutions. If you want us to do all of the work, we can absolutely do that. But in the very least, we always do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to the migrations. And then as far as timeline, best practices are between 30 and 90 days. It really just depends on how many users you have, how much data you have, and of course that number can fluctuate. There are the scenarios where we've had emergencies. We've done an emergency migration with Midget Realty through a hurricane, and we have extended the time frames for complicated and geographically dispersed teams that are global. Are there any other questions, Megan?
Thanks, Tina.
Sure.
Yeah, I see one more here. Someone asked they're interested in a customized demo and they're interested in what that actually entails.
Oh, sure. So what is a customized demo? Absolutely. So what we talked about today was just some of the features that we pulled out that we have seen as beneficial features for construction. Some of our clients that are currently using it, this is successful features that we have found. But if you want a personalized or customized demonstration, we could just jump on the phone for 15 minutes to learn what your specific needs are. Some companies are really heavy mail users, some are heavy calendar users, some companies don't really use calendar very much at all. So what we do is just learn a little bit about your needs, and then we would customize a demonstration on the Google Apps platform to show how your specific organization could use Google Apps.
Great, thanks, Tina. And that looks to be all of our questions.
Okay, fantastic. On behalf of Dido and myself, absolutely, thank you everybody for joining this webinar today. I really appreciate your time and attentiveness. We will be following up with a recording of the webinar as well as some success stories that you can read up on as well. If you have any additional questions or you do want that personalized demonstration, feel free to reach out to us and we'd be happy to schedule it. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day.